Well, Mr. Isaguso, I definitely have some questions for you. Before we went on that break, we were talking about people who were selling food for IDPs, and you say that it's political, but then there have been stories before now about, even the governor, I think at some point when there was a scarcity of, is it diesel or power in some of the IDP camps, we understand that at some point he had given a directive for food to be sold, and some people had he done that cover to those behind it that there was going to be stiff penalties. How then can you say that this is now political when there had been a history of people doing this before now?
Well, thank you so much. First of all, there was never, ever a directive from the governor asking anyone to sell any food. It simply does not make any sense. It is very, very ridiculous, and I don't want to use the word, I think it's childish. This is the governor that approves the funds for the food to be procured. Is Borno State so broke that for you to, because the report I saw, it was actually on the social media. That report that my sister is making reference to was picked from Facebook. And like I said, it's this same Graham Tarab, I remember one evening that posted it, that the deputy governor said that he was directed by the governor to sell some amount of rice to buy firewood of 1.2 million naira. For God's sake, firewood of 1.2 million. Look, in the last 3 months, since November, we have not had intervention from the National Emergency Management Agency. We currently have 374,000 IDPs within the 15 satellite camps. We have 258 IDPs within the 17 formal IDP camps within Maiduguri and Jere. These IDPs require about 1,800 bags of 50 kilograms of rice per day. Currently, the Borno State government is solely responsible for feeding of these IDPs with support from the World Food Program and the ICRC. Now, this is the governor that was dealing with this crisis from 2011 up to date. Don't forget that if you go back to the Jonathan administration, within the 4 years of that government, the total support that Borno State government got from that government was 200 million. At some point, we were spending 600 million on a monthly basis. How can this same governor direct that the same rice that he will have to still approve funds to buy should be sold to buy firewood of 1.2 million? It just doesn't make any sense. And this is why I keep saying there are a lot of politics. Look, most of the food aids, the ICRC, the World Food Program, the Danish Refugee Council, the Dangote Foundation that came to intervene during the Ramadan after it, most of them do direct distribution as a matter of their policy. They don't give food to Borno State government, they distribute. Even the food that NEMA brings, when they bring, it's not as if they hand it over to Borno State emergency management to share. NEMA has a structure. There are 5 sectors in managing these IDPs. There is a sector of food and security, and in that food and security, even the military is part of it. There is a sector on health, there is education, there is water hygiene and sanitation, there is social protection.
You're saying?
Yeah, most of these humanitarian agencies, they are part of the process.
At no time the UN did the governor ever give a directive that food be sold.
Never.
But then he had issued a warning, I think also measures, that if anyone was caught selling food meant for IDPs, there were going to be stiff measures meted out to those people. What prompted that warning to those who were stealing food meant for IDPs?
No, you are making them, what actually happened, I remember I was in your studio and I said it, that some officials were actually caught trying to divert 50 bags of rice in one of the IDP camps, in Bakassi IDP camp. And the governor directed me, I was the one who issued that statement, telling the commissioner of police to ensure that these officials were prosecuted. And I think that is being done. that is the statement you are referring to. It will be completely untrue for me to say that there are no wrongdoings, in management of the ID. When you are managing over 2 million people, there is no way everybody will key into your objective. No matter how the governor tries to make sure things are right, there would always be one or two people who would want to take advantage of it. But what is important is the measures being taken. Look, there are about 62 international partners across the Northeast. And of course, when you talk about the humanitarian crisis, what will come to your mind is naturally Borno, because that is the epicenter of it. So if there are 62 humanitarian actors working across the Northeast, you can well assume that majority of them would have, something to do with Borno State. If as some people have tried to paint it, that the Borno State government has been maybe fraudulent in dealing with these IDPs, any of these humanitarian actors